guys, so today we're going to be making little pipe cleaner dragons, and you can see, you can't see because of the shadow. You can see a couple that I've made here. They're cute little, very derpy guys, but they're fun to make. And you can totally modify them and make them how you want. So I'll show you how I made these ones, but you can totally take this original concept and do whatever you want and be creative. I also only have black pipe cleaners. If you have multiple colors, you can use multiple colors, but I only have black, so I shall only be using black. You'll also need a couple of pony beads for eyes. These can be in any color. You'll need some scissors, something to write with. I'm using a pencil, but if you might want to use a pen depending on what material you use for the wings. I am just using some paper, but you could also use some craft foam or maybe even some felt if you have it. Just whatever you got around the house. And then you'll need something to tape your to stick your wings to your dragon. So I'm just going to use some tape. If you have hot glue or something like that, you could use that as well. But tape works just as good. So let's get started. Okay, so first things first. We are going to make kind of like the skeleton of our little dragon. So I'm going to take a pipe cleaner and fold it in half, and then twist these two together so it becomes like one thick pipe cleaner. And if you want your dragon to be longer, you could maybe twist two pipe cleaners together, or you could do it with just one straight pipe cleaner, whatever floats your boat. But this is going to be our spine for our dragon. So I'm going to go ahead and make our little head and neck just by bending a little zigzag in. So this part will be the beginning of our head, coming down to our neck, our whole body, and then our tail. So this part is all done now. I'm going to set it off to the side, and I'm going to make the feet next. Okay, so to make the feet, we're going to fold another pipe cleaner in half. And this one we're actually going to cut in half. Again, you could do this with full pipe cleaner if you want longer legs. But for the little baby legs, like I have on mine, we cut the pipe cleaner in half. So now, with half of a pipe cleaner, you're going to go ahead and fold it in half again. So this is going to be your two legs. But our legs need some feet. So what you're going to do is take the end, curve it around so it makes a little foot. And right here you can see if I just leave it, it's going to make a little U. So we're going to cross it over and twist. Just twist it until this little pokey, come on. Okay, so just twist it until this little pokey bit is all wrapped up around the leg. So you have one little foot, then you can bend it flat, just like that. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to go ahead, take this, spin it around, so it makes like a U. Oh, shadows. Oh, I have shadows wherever I go. There we go. So it makes like a U, then cross it over like that, and I like just twisting the foot around, and that twists the rest of it around. Boop. So we now have our, goodness gracious, shadows. We have our second foot finished. We're just going to bend it. Now we have our two little legs. Boop-a-doo. Now, let's go ahead and make our second pair. I'm going to do this the same way. So fold your pipe cleaner in half. Open it up again. We're going to make a U. To get more in frame. Make a U. Cross over and twist. And then bend your foot up. Go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. And one thing you want to remember is you want to make sure that both of your feet are facing the same way. You don't want like one foot bent. Oh wow, great shadows. You don't want one foot bent like backwards and one forwards. Like that. There you go, now you can see. So you just want to bend, got a little pokey sticking out. Just want them bending the same way. Alrighty, so now let's add our legs to our dragon. So you're gonna just take the point of your legs and hook it over your spine. And you can put your front legs wherever you want. You can put them upright next to the neck. You could place them a little bit farther down. But once you decide where you want your legs, you're gonna go ahead and take them and just do one cross twist. And this just keeps the legs in place while we build the rest of the body around it, and just so they don't slide around so much. You can just fiddle with them, get them kind of how you want them. Now you have your legs on your dragon. So let's go ahead and add the back legs. Same thing. So you have your V, place it over the top. Once you decide where you want your legs, you can slide these ones back and forth, whether you want a longer tail and a shorter torso, or a longer torso and a shorter tail, or you could even have a longer torso and then add more onto the tail. But I think I'm going to have mine right here. Once you decide, go ahead and take a leg that is, for me, up and put it so that it is the leg down, and the leg that is down, twist it so that it's up. So they make like a little X right here. And if you feel like they need it, you could do that one more time. Just make sure the feet are still facing the right way. Nice thing about pipe cleaners is if they're something's not facing the right way, you just bend it around the right way. So now you can start to see a little dragon shape, but our dragons have wings. So now let's make the wing. Okay, so we're gonna take yet another pipe cleaner. And again, this is for the little tiny wings. If you want bigger wings, I think I would do maybe 2 full pipe cleaners and twist them together, but I'm just gonna do these little wings for our little baby dragons. We're gonna fold it in half again and twist it. And this is just for sturdiness. If you don't want to twist it, you could totally do this with just a single pipe cleaner. It'll just end up being a little more flexible in the end. And let me twist it so you guys can actually see it. And you can also see here, my ends aren't quite even at the end. One end is a little bit shorter just from the way it was being twisted. That's fine. You just want them to be pretty good, pretty close. So we have here our wingspan. So we're going to go ahead and do like we did with the legs. Fold it in half again to make a V. But now, instead of making the round part for the feet, we're going to go ahead and bend down again. And this will make our, I want to put this one down a little farther. This will make our wing path. So we're going to put some paper or felt in the middle part here for our wings. Okay, let's go ahead and add these to our dragon. So these are added the same way the legs were added, but instead of going down like this, we're going to go up from the bottom. And you can figure out where you want your wings. So you could have them like up right next to your front legs, or you could have it in the middle, you could have it in the back. You could do the little wings and put them on the tail. You can do whatever you want. So these ones I'm going to place up right next to the front legs. And you're going to do the same thing you did with your legs, where you just cross over and twist to secure them in place. And now we have full skeleton of our dragon, which for you guys is probably kind of hard to see on mine. But we have our head, our neck, our feet, our wings, which really should be curved a little bit back, and our back legs, and our long tail. So I think I'm going to bulk up the body a little bit, and then we'll go ahead and add these parts on here. But let's go ahead and get to bulking up his body, because we don't want a skinny little stick dragon. I mean, maybe you do. You could just leave it like this if you wanted, but I'm going to show you how to add on a little bit of body. We have something a little more like this. Okay, we are going to take another pipe cleaner, and we're just going to start a little bit on the tail. So we can see here, maybe, that I have, I'm going to start it right about here on the tail. I'm just going to start twisting. And once you get to the legs, you're just going to go ahead and twist over them. So you can see I'm coming up right where the legs are, and I'm just going to cross over those legs. Caught on my wing. Cross over those legs and twist back around, and this just helps secure the legs even more. You can see all of these are twisting all over the place. That won't happen once you do this part, or not as much at least. And we're going to continue all the way up to where our wings and front legs are. So this first one adds a little bit of bulk, but it's mainly just to get these guys in place. So you can see here, these wings just keep moving and moving, and I don't want them to do that. So what I'm going to do is, once I've come up, I'm going to cross over in the middle of them. And you could totally do with this with the legs too, underneath. I'm crossing over in the middle and then just wrapping down. I think I'll do that with these front legs too. So I'm coming down, coming through the legs, and then coming back up around. And I'm going to wrap up the neck a little bit. Now I still have all this pipe cleaner left. So I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping back down. And one thing you can do, you can wrap it tightly and that will add bulk, but it'll add it kind of slowly. But if you have lots of pipe cleaners, then go for it. But one way you can add up a little more bulk more quickly is to just not wrap it tightly. So if you curve it ahead of time, now when I come down here to our next part, you can see, maybe kind of just looks like a bunch of twisty ties. right here that it kind of looks like he already has a little bit of a chest. So here, I'll show the pole length, or the thickening method. So I have here, if I was to pull it tight, it would go down like that. But instead, I'm going to stick my finger here and wrap it a little bit around my finger. And I just adjust it a little bit so it's not so funky. And just wrap it around like that. And so now there's a little bit of gap on the bottom, but he has a little bit of thicker body without using a whole ton of pipe cleaners. So you can do that, or you could just wrap it with a bunch of pipe cleaners. That works too. So, and I'm going to do the same thing down here instead of wrapping it. Wow, you really cannot see. I should have set up better lighting. Instead of wrapping tight to his body like that, I'm going to just push it out a little bit with my finger and hold it in place as I wrap up. Now, you can hopefully maybe see, this is not the best lighting, that he has a little bit of belly. And I'm gonna go ahead and just, this last little bit, there isn't so much left, so I'm just gonna wrap it tight again. And now he has, there we go, just a little bit of a chest. And I am realizing as I'm filming this is not a very good angle to film at, and it just looks like a bunch of sticks. But here's our top down. You can see he's a little bit fatter here, or bulkier here, than he is down the rest of him. It's the same as here. So let's go ahead and grab a couple more pipe cleaners and do it again. So this time I think I'm going to start at the neck, and I again just gonna just curl them around, and in spots that I want it a little bit bulkier or bigger, I am not pulling it super tight. I'm just bringing it around, and as we come down here, we're gonna go ahead, and I like it where they have a big chest and then it comes down into a skinny body. So as I get closer to the back legs and tails, I tend to spiral it down closer and closer. But if you want like a solid body and a really skinny tail, you can just keep that same width. So like this, if we want a solid body, just keep pulling that same amount that you have been for underneath that extra bit. And he'll have a little, wow, I need to get some lights. Oh, wow. Look at that, it's magic. You can actually see what I'm doing now. Well, this will be a sudden lighting change, but who cares? You can actually see now. You can see now here that he has like a pretty much the same width body, as opposed to, just so you know, as opposed to something like this where the body gets skinnier as it goes to the tail. So, or this guy, which you can't see because of his wing. This guy who gets really skinny, but he's a little more like a cat. Anyways, okay, let's finish this one. But go ahead and do this. And we're tail. I'm just gonna wrap this around again. Alrighty, so I think I'm gonna keep his body like this. And now I'm gonna make his head. So you want to make sure you have both of your eyes and then at least one more pipe cleaner for the head. So, which I should have mentioned that earlier. But now what we're going to do is start at about the chest area. I'm going to poke my end into his chest a little bit just so the pokey end doesn't build up there. And we're going to do the same method we have been, just sticking our finger under and to make this a little more round. And again, you could just wrap it a bunch of times and that will make it a thicker head as well. And it'll probably make it a little bit of a sturdier figure, but I don't got the pipe cleaners for that. So we're going to go ahead and do this, I would say maybe 2 times. Then we're going to take our first eye. Okay, so we got 2 of these little spindles in. We're going to take our first eye and string it all the way down. And you could put it on this side if you want, or on this side, doesn't matter. I think I'm going to put this one on this side. And what I did for these guys is I took the bead and I twisted it just like I did. So I made a U and then I twisted the bead around like we did for the feet. So this secures the bead in place. Make sure it can't slide around anymore. You don't have to do this step. If you do this step, you'll end up with a little more like bug eyes like these guys are. But we're going to go ahead and spin around. And once you do your first eye, go ahead and slide your second eye on there. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to curve this around. This is in a little curve, and then pinch your 2 pipe cleaner part ends, the U ends. Well, great explaining. You're going to make an X, and then just twist your bead. And if they look a little wonky, that's okay. These are pipe cleaners. You can just bend them back in place. So we now have our eyes in place, and we're just going to take the rest of our pipe cleaner and twirl it around to make the rest of our head. And I just twirl it as I want. If you want to make it more rounded, you can put your finger in like we've been doing. But I think that is all I'm going to do. And so now we have our little derpy duty. It's kind of a flat head, but like I'm cool with that. So if you are waiting for this step to trace your wings, which I think now I would actually probably recommend it, but what you can do is you have your little dragon and you can just set it down on the edge and then trace out the edge like this. And then it's the same process as I showed you with the lines and then the scallops and then cutting it out. But this way you can make sure that it'll fit the actual formation you have, and you can adjust if you want them wider or more spread out, however you want, or if you want them closer. So I'm going to go ahead, lay this down, and I'm going to trace the outside. So instead of tracing inside of this V, I'm going to trace outside. Just do it kind of lightly because I'll probably have to adjust the lines a little bit. And this one you're going to cut 2 separate wings. So I think I'm actually going to move this one so it's up here. So we're going to go ahead and trace the other side. Okay. And let's see if I can show you guys. So you can see here, I now have 2 very, very rough V's on here. So I'm going to go ahead and make them more angled. Or not angled, but like I'll follow this angle, but I'll make it more straight and a stronger line. And then I'll show you how to add in the ridges, like on this guy, which you can probably already see, how to add these little scallops on the bottom. So let's go ahead and trace these a little bit better. It doesn't have to be like super exact, but you want them to be kind of close. Otherwise, your wings won't fit. Okay, so we have our V's. Now, to make those scallops, the easiest way is to draw lines down from this top point. So, we're going to go right here. You can draw as many as you want, but I normally draw 2 to 3. So now we have these lines, and we're just going to connect each of these lines with a little curve. So, and it's going to curve in towards this point, or like in up. It's going to curve up. So I'm just going to go like this. Can you see? Let's see. So you can see here I have my lines, and I made a little up curve to go here. I'm going to do that with the rest of these lines. Right, and you can see I have all my little curves. If you wanted these curves to be more drastic, you could just make them come up higher. It's up to you. I just wanted little ones. These are more like bat wings, but you could totally, if you want your dragon to have like fairy wings or something like that, instead of making these into a V, you could do like what we did with the feet, but make the oval part bigger, and then just add in a little bit of paper in for that part. That would work just as well, or whatever wings you think your dragon will have. It's just easy to create. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing I did for here, down here. I'm going to draw lines straight out and then connect them with little upward curves. Alright, and there, maybe, is the second wing done. And you can see here, those were a little too flat, so I just redrew the curves so they were more curved. And now we are gonna go ahead and cut these out. So just take your trusty scissors and cut out on the lines you just drew. So real easy. And so now I'm going to go ahead and add the webbing on with his wings. So this is a very simple process. If you're using hot glue, then you're just going to add a little bit of hot glue on the bottom part down here. But I'm just using tape, so I'm just going to get a little piece of tape, and I think I'm actually going to tape it to this part first. Now I have to remember which wing is which. So you can see the issue here. I traced these, but my wings are now actually a little bit wider and shorter. So, but I think I'm just going to make it work. But go ahead and hold your webbing in place, tape down a little bit of tape, and then, oops, I may have gotten not enough tape, but okay, tape it down, and then curl it around and tape it around on the back. If you have this little extra part, you can just cut that off, but you can see here, his wing is still separate. So we gotta add one more piece of tape right here on this side as well. So again, just your little piece of tape, put it on, make sure you have it attached to the paper part or the felt or whatever you're using. Curl it around the pipe cleaner. Alright, and I have a little wonkiness here. I'm just gonna grab my scissors and trim it so it matches. Boop. And no more wonkiness. I'm also going to trim this tape that I got here. Bam. Look at that. And now he has one wing all finished. So let's go ahead and do the other one. Alright, so again, just hold your wing in place, line up. You want to make sure that the edges line up with the edge of your pipe cleaner. Place your tape. And curl around. And I got a little bubble there, but that's okay. So we have one bit done. Now, time for the other. So, we're going to go ahead and line it up. And tape down on the paper. Wrap it around. Probably line that up a little too far, but all well. And now, if we're in focus, I'm going to go ahead and cut this little corner off again. It was too much. Now we have our finished little dragon, and you can pose them however you want. So I liked having their sharp corners there. I like having their tails curved. You can also see that these wings are pretty flat like this, but you can bend them out. You can also curve them a little bit, and the pipe cleaner will keep it in place, and the paper will curve, which looks pretty nifty, like that. And you can also, I have all my eyes like this. Well, not all of them, but I have some like this. You could definitely twist them if you want, make them like this. You know, all sorts of modifications. And like you could take, if you don't want your legs as skinny, you can do the same bulk up method to make your legs bigger. But now, we have a little family of dragons. And if you want, you can go on the other side, do the same lines. Just go from this top point down to the bottom point of each of your little scallops, rather than like the middle of the scallop. But here he is, little skinny boy. Yeah, that's all I have for you guys. If you guys make these, please post them on the chat. I want to see all of your little dragons. I think it's going to be so adorable. Yeah. I will see you guys next week. Bye!